But as usual, I'm a bit of a butterfingers and clumsy clot. If I don't spill it, I had trouble holding on to that. Hold it, Wendy. Hey, welcome back to my channel. It's Wendy here from Toonpish Crafts and I hope you're doing okay. Now, it occurred to me a little while ago that I have never put a dandelion in resin, and it's been really popular over the years. I've stayed away because I don't like doing popular things. I'd rather just go in my direction. So this time I thought, well, you know what? It's about time I put some kind of dandelion in resin. I've seen so many people do it and fail, and so many very successful pieces that you kind of got to live up to it, haven't you? But I'm going to put my spin on this. I'm not going to do it in sphere. I'm going to do it in something completely different. And yeah, let's see if it's as easy as I think it should be. So this is the mould pair that I have decided to use for my dandelion. These moulds just spoke to me when I saw them. I had to get them. They are little acorn pears with a top and a bottom, and I will put the link for these moulds in the description box below. I'm going to start by colouring the base part with Alchemy. This is one of Emma's The Tiny Turners pigments, and they are available on toonpish.com. Alchemy is a purple green, and now I'm not really a green person, not really, but sometimes I think green is in the right place, you know what I mean? And as this has a purple twist to it, I just thought it would go well with the base of an acorn. I just want to say a quick hello and welcome to all my new subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed already, maybe you would consider doing so. It doesn't cost a thing. It does definitely help my channel out. And if you've enjoyed the content, a thumbs up is really appreciated. That shows YouTube that you've enjoyed my content and will push it out so that others have a chance to see it. I've got lots of exciting projects that I'm working on that I'm eager to show you. So roll on August. And maybe September too. Now, if you can see through this mould, which I think is a fantastic mould, by the way, it's completely clear. So if you're using UV resin, it's ideal. You can see how beautiful that alchemy is. Now it comes to the top part and the dandelion. I picked this dandelion about 5 weeks ago. I threaded a cocktail stick through the stem and I stuck the cocktail stick in a upside down paper cup. And I let it sit there. Now I did, before I picked this, sprayed it fully with hairspray to try and keep it as is while it was drying for about 5 weeks. I've decided to use UV resin in this because one, it's quicker, and two, you have a little bit more control. And as this is my first time, I'm really eager to get to the demoulding stage. Once I've used a micro brush to get right the way down in that little tiny knobble in the bottom of the mould, then it's time to try and put my dandelion in. And a long neck lighter helps with those surface bubbles. Now heads up, I knew this dandelion was far too big for the mould, but I'm not intending to put the whole dandelion in the resin. I'm planning to put a good chunk of it in the resin to fill up that acorn top part. I knew I wanted the dandelion to soak into the resin, and I didn't quite know how to get it in there. This dandelion is absolutely full of air, and I wanted the resin to take it. I didn't want to force it, but I knew I wanted to push it down because it was just sitting on top. There was no force to suck it into that resin. So I had to come up with a plan to actually poke it in there without destroying it. I ended up by taking the stem and the cocktail stick away so that I had something to push in. Now this is the first time I've ever done this, and I knew it could trap bubbles. I knew if I didn't go gently, it would take all that air right into the resin. And I came up with the plan of pushing it down with a micro brush that I've removed the micro brush from. It's just the plastic stick that's left. I really am gentle with this. I'm pushing it down gently to try and let the resin soak in to the dandelion. Now this is speeded up, but it was a very slow process. When I'm happy that it's down as far as it will go, then I'll use a little bit more resin on the top, and I put it under the lamp on both sides for 5 minutes. Ten minutes later, and I can finally see my very first dandelion in resin. This piece turned out absolutely stunning with no bubbles. The dandelion has taken over, and that is what I wanted. Absolutely stunning in there. The video really doesn't do it justice. It just looks so fluffy. Now with the base part, I really wanted it dark because the colour alchemy is a chameleon pigment, and to get the best results you need black. Now with this piece I did decide to use black UV resin, and to use black UV resin you really need to do it in thin layers because black is not a good conductor of light. I decided to fill it up more or less halfway with black and then put clear in the centre that will hopefully let the light shine through the black, but the black being on the outside should work for the chameleon powder. That was my plan. I used a bent piece of wire to go under the lip to get rid of any air that may be stuck, and again I put it under the lamp for 5 minutes on both sides. I then did go on and colour the top when it was tacky and covered that in clear UV resin. To my surprise, that completely cured. You can see where I've put the colour on top, and I'll also put a thin layer of UV resin across that to seal the colour in. And I don't have any bubbles, and that colour is absolutely stunning. The colour is gorgeous, the mould is gorgeous, and I love that bubble on the top. I'm glad I put a micro brush down there to get rid of the bubbles in there. So I needed to fix the two parts together. This is where UV resin glue comes in. This is Let's Resin UV resin glue. I'm going to put a very thin coat on a now sanded base. There was a few lips on this, and I did put it on some sanding paper just to take down those edges so that we had a nice flat base for two parts to join together happily. I make sure I use a paintbrush to spread that UV resin glue out. I then put a thin coat on the top part and place that on top of the bottom. I have balanced the bottom on the mould itself, and it's not quite level. So I do have to move it around a little to make sure that I've got that top part in the right area. And there should be enough light that travels through that dandelion piece to cure it. So I put it under the lamp for 3 minutes. It doesn't need 3 minutes, it only takes 10 seconds to cure. But I am so over the moon with this. I absolutely love the mould. I love the colours. I love that I've finally put a dandelion in resin. Although it's not a whole dandelion, but it is most of it. And I am so happy with that. Absolutely love this little mould and this little piece. Then I got a bit carried away. I absolutely love this mould so much. I just wanted to carry on and make absolutely loads. Now, I'm not going to put you through the whole lot that I made because I did go on and make absolutely loads of these. But I will show you one more. I'm not going to put the whole dandelion in this time. I'm going to take out a few of the little flyaway pieces, the seeds, removing most of it. I just want a few of them to go into my acorn top. I figured that you would be able to see it a lot better with just a few pieces in there, and placing them in really, really slowly so that the resin has chance to soak in and not drag in any air. I faff around a little, placing them where I want them to go, and I do actually go on and add another piece because I wanted a little bit more in there. These things are so fragile, and my eyes were being strained trying to see what I was doing. But having the little brown bit on the end, the seed part, I could actually see where it is. That did help, to be fair. I faffed around to try and get them exactly where I wanted them, which, to be honest, wasn't easy. Once you moved one, they all seemed to move. But I eventually was happy, and again I put them under the lamp for 5 minutes, both sides. When they're cured, I can take them out and see how good they look. Now, I do think that only having a few bits in there actually looks much more artistic than having the whole dandelion in there. There was a few bubbles on the surface of this piece, but nothing to write home about. And just so that I could have a different base, I decided to use Phoenix, which is an amazing orange autumnal chameleon flake from Emma. But as usual, I'm a bit of a butterfingers and clumsy clot. If I don't spill it, I had trouble holding on to that. Hold it, Wendy. Nearly went again. It's a beautiful orange for autumn, and it has a gorgeous gold twist to it. Absolutely stunning colour, this Phoenix. Really is beautiful. So I put quite a lot of the flakes inside, and I just went round and smothered the inside as much as I could, burnishing in as much as I could. And with this base, I decided to go with black polyurethane resin from MB Fiberglass. That will be linked in the description box below. And the good thing about this is not only is it quick, you do have to be quick with this, but it's solid black, and I know it will cure beautifully in this tiny little acorn bottom part. Cap. Is that what you call it? A cap? Acorn cap. That'll do. That works. Again, I went round with a micro brush to get rid of any stuck air underneath the lip, and I left it to cure. And an hour later, I decided to colour the black top with the chameleon pigments. So I'm using this very small amount of metal size glue. This stuff cures in 45 minutes and goes completely clear, but stays sticky. So when I'm happy that it's completely cured, I use some more of the Phoenix and I cover that top part in the gorgeous Phoenix colour as well. You don't need much of these flakes to actually make a huge impact. They are stunning flakes. Then I can demould and see what we have. How adorable is that? This little acorn is gold orange, and there's a little touch of green in there as well. Absolutely perfect for autumn colours. And with the clear piece on top, the colours spring through that clear resin. And look at that array of colours. How gorgeous is that? Again, I get out the Let's Resin UV glue, spread a thin amount on top of the clear part and pop it onto the base. You can see it slide in, so I do have to hold it, and I flash cure it with the torch that actually comes with the UV resin glue kit. Like I said, it only takes 10 seconds to cure, so that torch really does help to get it to stay exactly where you want it. This UV resin glue is really an essential part of any resin user's kit, and I'll try and put the link in the description box below. Honest to goodness, I was so blown away by this. How beautiful is that colour? I know I love Emma's colours. Hands down, I think they're fantastic. But it just works. with this little acorn and these dandelion fairy pieces inside. And actually, it's a really quick make, and you can make loads in one day. I then went on and put some colour in the top part, just a little fleck to go with the dandelions, and that worked really well. These dandelion seeds are so gorgeous. And some different base colours. I did try one that had a little bit too much on the top right there, had a little bit too much colour. You kind of lost the dandelion pieces in there. But I also bought a dinky winky tiny whiny little mould that is the same as the larger one. So cute. The bigger ones, I tried different ways to fasten through the base piece. You can drill a hole and put a ring through it, or you can use a vinyl type thing on the end that you can glue on. I had so much fun with these moulds, so much fun with the dandelions, and I just could not stop making them. In fact, I had to limit what I'm showing you because I made so many, and the video could have been hours long. I've really enjoyed this one. Really enjoyed the first time ever putting dandelions into resin. And those colours of Emma's powders are stunning. Absolutely gorgeous. The dinky winky tiny whiny one is adorable. You can see how sweet that is. And I thought that would be so cute for a necklace or a little tiny keychain or a charm for a bracelet. Isn't it so cute? And that base had the blood red colour from Emma. This one had some pink at the bottom but had a blue cone, and I just think it's absolutely adorable. So much fun with acorns and dandelions. And this one with a whole dandelion, or almost a whole dandelion, is my very first dandelion piece. And I think it is so naturally beautiful. Don't forget, if you've enjoyed watching this video, a thumbs up would be really appreciated. And drop me a comment. I try really hard to answer most of the comments, though it is getting harder nowadays. If you entered last week's giveaway for Resin, the video was out yesterday. That announced the winners, so go check that video out. You've only got until Sunday to get back to me. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you've got something out of it. Come back and see me next time, because you never know what I'm going to be up to. I never know what I'm going to be up to. Have a great week. Happy crafting, and bye for now.